Namaste. Welcome to another edition of Navimash podcast. So we have rebranded ourselves as NV Conversations. So welcome again to everybody to NV Conversations, where we discuss important issues that impact us, our society, and individual. So today we have with us again the academic man. Namaste.
नमस्ते भाई.
Namaste. Okay, so before we start our discussion, I have shared a few things with the audience in our community post that what we're going to talk about. But it would be helpful for everybody if you can just give a primer overview what we are going to discuss, because this is something which is a little bit old in terms of we're going to discuss 2011 elections, which is about 15
Yes,
years from now. So let's give an overview and
absolutely,
then we will start our discussion.
absolutely. So, thank you for introducing the topic, making the thumbnail so good, and thank you for your efforts. Firstly, secondly, is that this is, as you mentioned, that this is more than a decade old. This is 2000. This is 2025. We're talking about 2011. Uh, why do we need to talk about 2011? That is the main question. Somebody might say that it is long gone and all that, but I often hear a lot of Indic perspective people saying that Mamata defeated CPIM, so BJP has to be Mamata to defeat Mamata. Basically, only a Mamata can defeat a Mamata. And because of that, there is a tendency to blame the Sangh and BJP, which I don't fully disagree with and sometimes, but then I also believe that there are some things that people don't understand about West Bengal politics. People think that West Bengal is like Tamil Nadu, which is highly isolated from the center, and they have like no effects of Delhi election fall on Tamil Nadu per se. Of course, Tamil Nadu has its own issues, but I am not an expert on Tamil Nadu politics and all, so I can't comment on it entirely. Tamil Nadu, Kerala, all this, but I know West Bengal quite well, so I will comment on that. First things first. My primary thesis today is that West Bengal's politics has never been determined by West Bengal politics. West Bengal politics has always been determined by Delhi, by the power structures in Delhi. That is why perhaps Vivek Agnihotri calls his film The Delhi Files Bengal chapter, not Bengal Files. Because Delhi has always had a role to play in the history and geography of Bengal, West Bengal particularly. So, whether we like it or not, whether that is a good thing or bad thing, I don't know. I'm just giving you facts today. So, by the way, your channel has been heavily reported because I was watching Deepta's show yesterday, and today YouTube is asking me, how did you find the video? So it has been heavily reported as expected. Anyway, so I know you wear that as a badge of honor, so that's a good thing. So anyway, so my coming back to the point, the problem with trying to see West Bengal politics as isolated from Delhi politics is that we tend to blame the Bengal opposition and the Bengali people too much sometimes. I know that there are some blame. In fact, on this very podcast, we have discussed many times how West Bengal's people have some problems, some issues. We have discussed that, and or even on CSK we have seen. But my problem with that kind of a idea is it does not paint the entire picture of Bengal politics. So for years that the question is arising that especially by CPIM that BJP and TMC have a setting, which is somewhat I don't completely disagree with personally on a personal thing. But what we forget is CPIM and Congress had a very long setting of 30 years almost 30 years from 1977 to 2007. CPIM had a very strong setting with Congress. The same kind of setting that they are accusing BJP and TMC of. So, this is kind of trying to cast a light on the setting politics of CPIM and Congress. This will help us understand why BJP is not able to fully come to power in West Bengal despite having 40% votes. Okay, so CPIM, when it came to power in 1977, there was a Janta Dal government in the center, Janta Party, which was led by Morarji Desai and all that, and it was formulated by Jayaprakash Narayan. This was after emergency, 75 to 77. Now, what we have to remember is that from 72 to 75, the CM of West Bengal was Sri Siddhartha Shankar Rai. Siddhartha Shankar Rai was a Congress chief minister. He was the last Congress chief minister of West Bengal. Now, a lot of allegations are there. Again, this is an allegation, but it is written even in academic literature by Kenneth Bo Nielsen and others, that the 1972 elections was heavily rigged by Congress. Okay, this is not our claim. This is an academic claim, and kind of like a lot of people have claimed this. So, Congress party won that election, whatever means necessary, and there was a state suppression of the Naxal politics of the time. So West Bengal was a hot hub of Naxalite politics, which was, as we know recently again, that Naxalite politics is obviously very dangerous for the country. Okay, it is even sometimes has killed many more people compared to even other kinds of violent terrorist activities. So the point I am trying to make is that Congress was in power till 75, and then there was emergency from 75 to 77. And before 75, Congress had a very heavy hand in controlling the Naxalite movement in West Bengal, and the West Bengal government was under their control. After 77, when Jyoti Basu government came to power, now here's the thing, Jyoti Basu was actually kind of a compromise candidate in a way. Jyoti Basu was more of a moderate leftist. He was not a extreme leftist like Pramod Das Gupta and others. He was actually a kind of moderate face. He was like the Atal Bihari Vajpayee of BJP in some, of CPIM. Like how Atal Bihari Vajpayee was seen as a moderate face of BJP. Same way, Jyoti Basu was seen as a more moderate face of the left. He was a social democrat, and he had a very he had a very privileged life, and he had foreign mannerisms and all that. So he was a very gentleman type guy. Okay. Anyway, he was a great leader according to the CPIM. So then we have discussed Mori Jhapi and all that stuff. Deep Haldar has come on this show. So Deep Haldar has written a whole book on Mori Jhapi. So we know that the CPIM government was very oppressive. That there is no doubt about that. But think about it, that Congress, which was the primary opposition party from 1977 to 1998, think about it, that is almost 20 years. Okay. मतलब कांग्रेस ने क्या उखाड़ लिया? In 20 years, Congress did nothing. Despite the CPIM closing factory after factory and destroying the education system and removing English from schools, killing refugees in Marijhapi and all that stuff, the Congress party didn't do anything to come to power. Okay. So this is a very I suspect a lot, going on in the background because of this. So what I learned was that basically there was an understanding between Srimati Indira Gandhi and CPIM during that time that you stay. So Indira made a comeback in 1980 when she was elected prime minister properly. Then she passes away in 1984. Anyway, after that there is Rajiv and there are other people, and all these people become prime minister. Narasimha Rao, my favorite prime minister, he was there. So a lot of people became prime minister during that time, and whatever said and done, most of them were basically Congresses. So before Atal Bihari Vajpayee's government in 1998, there were basically Congress adjacent leftist socialist governments in the center. And here in West Bengal, we have uninterrupted CPIM rule, Jyoti Basu's uninterrupted rule till 1999. So 1977 से 1999 तक Jyoti Basu is ruling West Bengal. And as we know, Professor Pratim Ghatak's book, that it is the original lynch mob. Right. I know you're trying to take out some books. Yes.
No, you
So,
carry on.
नहीं, ठीक है. That's a part of the discussion. So the point being that despite the CPIM having so many problems, we see that their Congress, despite being the opposition party of the time, the primary opposition party till 1999, has no, desire to come to power in West Bengal, despite the problems of CPIM. So this is very weird. So what happens is, this is why Congress leaders are branded as tormuj or watermelon. They are green on the outside and red or CPIM on the inside. So their Congress is on the outside, but their CPIM on the inside. Basically, a lot of these leaders, the Congress leaders, the top leaders like Shomen Mitro, Sri Subrata Mukherjee, most of them are passed away now. They were accused by people of kind of having a setting with CPIM. And the central high command of Congress did not have any problems with that, it seems, because the Congress was always okay with kind of, I even heard that when Jyoti Basu and Rajiv Gandhi were in the same room, Rajiv Gandhi used to get up from his chair despite being the prime minister and Jyoti Basu being the chief minister. So in a way, like, Congress was very reverent of CPIM, and Congress kind of did not fight the CPIM in the state. Now we come to 1998, when Mamata Banerjee rebels. She is the president of Youth Congress. 1993, CPIM open fires at the Youth Congress workers. We all hear many stories about that later. I will come to that later. But anyway, 1993, Mamata Banerjee is assaulted and all that, and CPIM people, they are at power. They are in power. But 1998, something strange happens, that the Congress, the opposition party of the state, breaks into two parts. One is led by Mamata Banerjee and some old Congress leaders like Mukul Rai and others, and sometimes some Congress leaders come and go, that kind of thing. The Congress party itself is reduced to primarily Malda, Murshidabad in the north and some parts of the south, but primarily Malda, Murshidabad, Berhampur in the north. And TMC takes over South Bengal, basically Jadavpur, Kolkata, some parts of Howrah and all these places. TMC is there, active. And so what happens is, the opposition of the state becomes divided. Now, a lot of conspiracy theorists say that probably Jyoti Basu intended for the opposition to become broken. Like, once the opposition is broken, CPIM again comes to power in 2001 easily, and Jyoti Basu is replaced in 2000 by a younger colleague, Buddhadev Bhattacharya, Buddhadev Agarwal, as CSK calls him. So Buddhadev Agarwal takes power in 2001, and we see the rise of brand Buddha from 2001 onwards. So what does he do? He says ki abhi bahut factory band kar liya, we've closed too many factories and stuff. So let's start some factories. So he talks to the selling group. He does what he has to. He opens some Salt Lake Sector 5, Rajarhat, all that stuff. He has all these investments coming into West Bengal. And at that time, there were two other chief ministers who were very popular. One is Narendra Modi ji, who is now the prime minister. He was the chief minister of Gujarat, and Gujarat model was slowly becoming powerful. Gujarat model is this, that, whatever. And we also hear of another chief minister in the south called Chandrababu Naidu. Chandrababu Naidu is developing Andhra Pradesh very rapidly, and Buddhadev Bhattacharya is developing West Bengal very rapidly after his own party destroyed the state. So anyway, I don't hold it against him. So he at least tried. Whether it was genuine or not, I don't care. So he tried to get Ratan Tata and all that. But before that, he wins the 2006 election. When he won the 2006 election, TMC was reduced to 30 or 35 seats. Okay, only in the Vidhan Sabha of 300, they have less than 10% seats. And CPIM wins the largest mandate in the history of independent West Bengal, 235 seats in 2006. So you would think that CPIM is so powerful now, right? That 2006 they have won like crazy. They have won 235 seats out of 294. Crazy. So obviously, Buddha Babu gets a boost. He calls Ratan Tata, and Ratan Tata says, "Okay, I'm coming." And they have a lot of meetings, and they try to kind of make Calcutta more, like investment friendly. They show that the government is invested in investment, and they can give land and resources, water, all that stuff, and whatever. The whole thing is starting. Then suddenly, Nandigram issue happens when poor farmers are fired upon by the police. And this makes a huge movement in in Nandigram. And then a few years later, there is Shingur. So 1 year or 2 years later, there is Shingur. So this is happening right after Buddha Babu takes power in 2006. What happens as a result is that, yes, this is a very good, way of looking at it. So what happened is that anti-incumbency is suddenly becoming, clear in front of people. Yes, yes, absolutely. So, thank you for this nice graphics. Actually, I really like that. So, what happens is the anti-incumbency of Buddha Babu and CPIM suddenly becomes very apparent to the people of West Bengal. Suddenly, everyone's talking about how the CPIM is so horrible, and how they killed farmers and this and that. Now, nobody who sees this was actually very kind of, they cared a lot about poor people back in the day, like in the sense that when Jyoti Babu's government did the Morichapi thing, the Shaibari massacre, the kind of the Bijon Shetu massacre, the Nanur massacre, the Keshpur thing, all of these, like I can start like talking all night about these massacres. Anyway, so we are aware. I think our viewers are aware that there were many such massacres by the CPIM and others and their allied parties during the 20 years or so of Jyoti Basu. And the panchayat elections were heavily rigged, and they were totally controlled by every aspect. So there was no opposition party in the state of West Bengal per se. Like if you would be in the opposition party, you're screwed basically. Your life and liberty are over. So that is how West Bengal was. But suddenly, from 2006, we see a change. Especially after 2007, we see that there is massive anti-incumbency. Now, this is counterintuitive to me because Buddha Babu was actually after Bidhan Rai, he was the best chief minister of West Bengal. So suddenly, what went wrong? That these intellectuals and the professors and teachers and artists and musicians and film stars suddenly started seeing Buddhadev Bhattacharya as an enemy or CPIM as an enemy. This is very strange. Now, what my mind later came to was that the Congress and CPIM had a alliance in the center till 2007. That was broken by the Kerala CPIM in 2007. And matlab Kerala CPIM was calling the shots, so they had to do it. So what happened was that the Congress suddenly lost its alliance with the left. And you will remember that Somnath Chatterjee, who was the chief speaker back then, he was made the speaker by Congress because CPIM did not demand any ministerial berths. So what happened was that Congress said that out of respect, Somnath Chatterjee, whose father was a Hindu Mahasabha leader, tragically. Anyway, so Somnath Chatterjee said that he was the speaker. Now, he refused to toe the party line. He said that this government is doing something good, so I will not So what happened is the Congress had a nuclear deal. The Congress government had a nuclear deal with the US. I think there would be technology transfer and stuff. And what happened is that uh, the CPM opposed this heavily. They said that we can't ally with the US on anything, so we are out. Suddenly, right after that, all these Nandigram, Shingur, all this stuff happens. And as a result, the left front lost 15 out of 42 Lok Sabha seats in 2009, as you have said. So this is very important, because suddenly now, after 30 years of 34 years almost of rule, the CPIM was toppled. Now this is a very important thing. The CPIM was in power for so long, but the Congress was never really against it. In fact, a lot of CPIM high level leaders and thinkers, philosophers, teachers, professors, they were often given central posts, central university posts outside of West Bengal, where they wrote books on how great CPIM was. This was done deliberately by the Congress. So there is an author called Atul Kohli. He wrote books on West Bengal and the democracy in West Bengal. You can share it. Atul Kohli, write, and you can write West Bengal books. You can see the books on Google. So what happened is the Congress kept a lot of the CPIM guys in the center. This was their understanding between them, that you stay in the West Bengal area, I will rule over the rest of India, and tum jab zarurat padega, you can give us tactical support and stuff. Setting, pura setting tha. And what happened is the CPIM was more than happy to be in this organization, because CPIM is ruling for 30 years plus in the state, so they are happy. One second. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Is it audible now?
Yeah. Audible.
Okay. So what happened is that we see that there is this proper setting between Congress and CPIM going on for all this while in the center. Till then, there was no problem. Till the nuclear deal fallout, there was no issue between. Yes, Atul Kohli, see, dekho, ye governability and all that. These are his main thesis. Okay, democracy and development in India. If you go down, Atul Kohli is writing about these things that, OUP and all that. So these books, primarily this democracy related books, his point is that CPIM is so awesome that CPIM has stable rule in the country. And he is totally, denying that CPIM actually, rules by violence and force and management, electoral management. So these are the kind of people that the BJP, the Congress and the CPIM keep in positions of power and give them, Delhi University mein post de diya, ye kiya, wo kiya, kind of, lots of foreign conferences, all kinds of support, academic and all kinds of support. Their job was to basically make the CPIM and Congress both look good. And if you think about it, it worked. I mean, in front, if you're not a person living in West Bengal, if you live outside West Bengal, and if you live in the US or whatever in the foreign lands, for you, West Bengal is that one place which has democratically elected Communist Party rule for over 3 decades. So you understand that this is total shocker when people are hearing about Nandigram and Shingur coming out in the public. So people don't know about Marijhapi and all that stuff. We now know because of social media and people like Deep Haldar and all these people. We know about Marijhapi and all that. But till, let's say, 2007 and all, nobody was discussing the CPIM massacres and stuff. These were all covered up very cleverly by international and national media. Now, you may ask why. Why is Congress and CPIM so close to each other? So this is my theory that um, you know if the father is the same, then two brothers ultimately have shared blood and DNA, right? So if the father is foreign, दो बेटे कैसे लड़ सकते हैं, right? Like it's always going to they're always going to find each other if even if they're separated in a mela like it happened in the movies. One brother will sing a song and the other brother will recognize and they will find each other. So the Congress and CPIM, ultimately the state mein they came together when Mamata came to power and BJP came to power in the center. Just to oppose these guys, CPIM and Congress again made an alliance in 2016. Okay. So anyway, we'll get to that later. But that's the whole point, that the CPIM and Congress were never ideological opponents. The CPIM and Congress had the same ideology of socialism, leftist ideology, and both of them are crony capitalist governments. Like what Ratan Tata and all were doing in West Bengal. I have utmost respect for Tata Group, but the problem here is that if you're getting land for cheap from the government, then that is called crony capitalism. That's not actual real capitalism. Okay. So that's the problem, that the CPM and Congress had a setting and ultimately it broke away, I told you. And then what happened is suddenly regime change happened. Regime change happened. Why? Because obviously the Congress under Sonia Gandhi was very powerful. It is not the Congress of today. It was very powerful and efficient, and it started to kind of see CPM as an enemy. And they saw that there is just one leader who has been consistently against the CPIM for 3 decades. But Mamata Banerjee, who is that leader, did not win a lot. Like her winning started only from 2009. Till 2009, Mamata Banerjee was a opposition leader, that is fine, but she never really won elections per se. Like most of the elections were lost by her. So my point to those who say that Mamata Banerjee defeated CPIM, my point to them is that if Mamata Banerjee was such an effective opposition leader, how did she not win till 2009? How come her party was reduced to one Lok Sabha seat in 2004, I think, and only and then 30 seats in the Vidhan Sabha in 2006? If she was such an effective leader, why does she not have any support till 2009? That is the big question. That's because her methods never really worked. If you think about it, all she did was buns. She used to do hartal, this, that, like disruptive politics. And while disruptive politics seems okay, the people of West Bengal crave stability. At the end of the day, people don't like rebels. Okay, rebels seem good. It seems that sometimes it feels romantic. Okay, one time even Modi ji was a rebel, but रोज तो rebellion करने का मन नहीं करता है ना. Even Kejriwal, who was a forever rebel, he lost right now. So the point I'm trying to make is कि rebellion wala politics, it doesn't really work all the time. In a democracy, it doesn't always work. And all the rebellions that have happened all over the world, you will see that they are essentially military coups. They are essentially coups, whether it's Mao taking over China in 1940s, whether it's the Bolshevik Revolution in 1917, whatever the revolution has happened in the world, it has always been a military coup. These have not been democratically elected governments. और फिर आते ही democracy को खत्म कर देता है ये लोग. Okay, that is also there. Once a rebel wins, except the American Revolution, I think, no revolution has actually ended up starting a democracy or supporting a democracy. Even the Cuban Revolution did not start a democracy. So what I'm trying to say is Mamata Banerjee coming to power was not the result of her politics. You have to understand that this kind of rebellious politics sometimes works. I'm not denying that it never will work. Sometimes it might, like जैसे केजरीवाल जीत गया था. But even then, like for most people like us who are politically aware, Kejriwal was always a joker. Okay, मतलब people think if you are always in a rebellion mode, people think that how will he be a king? The primary reason that Narendra Modi won was because he already was the chief minister, and he was a very successful chief minister. He said that, "Bhai, dekho mera track record hai. This. Okay, now you vote for me if you feel like." So then people saw that, okay, this is a nice track record. So they did not vote for. See, Kejriwal was a legit contender. If you see social media, Kejriwal was a legit contender, but Kejriwal never had the experience of ruling like Narendra Modi did. And what I'm trying to establish here is Mamata Banerjee was a forever rebel. Mamata Banerjee never, except being real minister, she was never really a administrator. She was never known as an administrator. She was known as a disruptor. So her brand of politics never really had an appeal, if you think about it. A rebel is not a real leader. A rebel is just a. देखो मैं तुमको example देता हूँ. In Cuba, when the revolution happened under Fidel Castro and Che Guevara, Che was actually a rebel. Castro was a ruler. So what happens is, once Che comes to power, he kills so many people that Castro sends him to Bolivia and says that, भाई तुम वहां जाके revolution करो, तुम revolution खेलो, CIA के खिलाफ लड़ो तुम. And he dies very horrific death in Bolivia. Because Castro knew that if I run the country, I can't have this crazy psycho in my country who is killing people left and right. He killed people for being homosexual. He killed people for just, whatever. Like, he did not like your face, he will kill you tomorrow. That kind of thing. So Castro को समझ आया था कि भाई this crazy person cannot rule this country with me. तो उसको हटाओ. So Castro ने गैस मार के उसको बोला कि भाई बोलिविया जाके तू rebellion कर, मर गया. And that is what happens to rebels. But this is a democracy. So Mamata Banerjee was propped up heavily by Pranab Mukherjee's organizations, Sonia Gandhi in the center, Congress and TMC had an alliance, and they heavily started defeating Left Front in the elections. Okay. Also, something else that worked was, at that time, there were channels like Z 24 Ghanta and ABP Anando and all these channels. Now, back then, there was no social media. And most of these channels, ABP has always been pro-Congress. वैसे भी ABP has always been anti-BJP, pro-Congress. तो anti-left भी था बीच में थोड़ा, anti-CPM भी था. So what happened was that if you see ABP's coverage during that time, and ABP, देखो, ABP is a brand. Whatever said and done, ABP, Anandabazar Patrika was a brand. It's still a brand. Okay. So Bengalis think of it as a legitimate, kind of media. Ki, if it's written in ABP, it must be true. We used to make fun of that, but we can't deny it, right? That's why I talk about when I say, why is Modi ji sending Shashi Tharoor to US? Because Shashi Tharoor has that legitimacy, na? Modi ji can't send Giriraj Singh to US. उससे और पाकिस्तान के साथ युद्ध हो जाएगा. I love Giriraj Singh. But let's face that fact that if Giriraj Singh can't be sent to the US, you have to send somebody like Shashi Tharoor, right? So that is the thing that we have to understand, that ABP had that brand. And when they have a 24-hour channel, which is following Mamata all the time, like the Mamata is doing this rally, अरे दिखाओ, Mamata is going to the village, दिखाओ, Mamata के साथ वो helicopter पे चढ़ गया सुमन, दिखाओ, हाँ पूरा. So Mamata Banerjee is being focused like anything on ABP. हाँ, सिर्फ जी 24 घंटा सीपीएम के साइड में था, वो कोई देखता नहीं था ज्यादा. So what happened is that ABP group totally allies with Mamata Banerjee, and we see that people are crazy about Mamata Banerjee. Suddenly, like after 30 years, she's in politics for 30 years, but only in 2009, 8-9, she's like, people go crazy and whatever. And then what happens is in 2009 में CPM started losing seats in the Lok Sabha, and then 2011 CPM was gone. So that is the whole point behind such a long story. Ki, till Delhi did not decide that West Bengal politics needs to change, West Bengal politics did not change. It is primarily based on the decisions of Delhi that Bengal's fate is going to change tomorrow or not. Now, I am not going to place the entire blame on BJP, because yes, there are problems in West Bengal. There is not enough understanding of ground reality, demographic change, all that stuff. I agree. I totally agree. But even then, despite having all these issues, all the problems with rigging and opposition party facing so many problems, all this stuff, despite all that, BJP is holding on almost 39% votes in the state. That is a big feat. That means that large section of the people, especially the legal people in West Bengal, want the BJP to come to power. That cannot be denied. And this is another thing, that when some people from UP and all say that Bengal may, people are stupid and all. I've seen that. I'm not against it. I myself have said it many times. But when I told him that, Dekho, your caste politics in UP gave BJP only 38 seats. Now he's a huge BJP supporter. So I said, you have caste politics in UP, but you guys still, you have best CM, best PM. Okay. But you still gave BJP only 38 seats in the Lok Sabha 2024. So in Bengal, at least, we can say that caste hai, we have discussed caste and all that stuff in Bengal. बट जो भी हो, ये कास्ट के बेसिस पे वोटिंग उतना नहीं होता है जितना यूपी बिहार एंड अदर प्लेसेस में होता है. इवन साउथ हैज मोर कास्ट बेस्ड पॉलिटिक्स देन वेस्ट बंगाल. ओके, यहाँ पे कास्ट इज अ सोशल इशू बट नॉट अ पॉलिटिकल इशू. एंड पीपल अक्रॉस कास्ट, ब्राह्मण से लेके दलित, एवरीवन, ओबीसी, दलित, जो भी हो, मोस्ट हिंदूज आर वोटिंग फॉर बीजेपी. मोस्ट हिंदूज आर वोटिंग फॉर ये. दैट आई एम नॉट सेइंग. All the surveys are saying. Of course, there is a large 35% population who are not voting for BJP, who are never going to vote for BJP. ये problem BJP को face करना पड़ेगा. But we cannot deny that there is a very large section of people wanting BJP in power. And that is the dilemma of the people. That is the dilemma where we have to start asking also questions like why despite having such mass support, we are not getting the kind of, BJP is not getting the kind of results in West Bengal that is expected. Anyway, I have spoken for a very long time. I think you can.
Yeah, it
take
was
some.
like a very long intro, but important, and also with the graphics, it made,
Yeah.
because it's important people to understand, because we are jogging a memory of almost 14 years. Okay.
Yes.
So hopefully
Absolutely.
people would understood the context, and with the graphics and the other things, with thanks to capitalism and AI, we're going to do this. So yeah, so now I have a few questions. I'll ask one by one. Okay. So in your primary, you mentioned that the West Bengal politics specifically. Okay, this one more like caveat which we people need to understand who are listening to this. This we are talking about politics as a pure politics. The problem with us is that we attach politics with social issues, with international issues, with internal problem things. We are analyzing in a pure political context what really happened and how it happened, and how the learning can be a kind of a like a path breaker or a change of path, the way the politics has been done now. So first question that I would ask is, your primary contention is that the politics of West Bengal is influenced massively by the who is ruling at the center. Okay. And that
Yes.
may not be, a very like evident for the rest of India, like west of India or east of India, means UP, Bihar, MP, and even south of India. But this
Yes.
east of India, including northeastern states, and that is, I think people who have tracked politics, you would know that generally governments in East India, except UP, okay, and Bihar, West Bengal, Sikkim, and all the northeastern regions, the governments heavily relied on the center for their funding and all the other things. So this linkage, this invisible linkage, which is not evident in the politics the way it is run, but even people find it and analyze it, they will know that it is there. So for the audience outside West Bengal, okay, or maybe who are listening to this outside West Bengal and northeastern states, could you just give a specific like anecdotes that could actually give suffice that okay, the politics of West Bengal is actually controlled in larger parts by the central ruling, and how it actually affects the economy and the political outcome of the election.
Northeast, right? We have heard a lot of rebellion movements in the Northeast. Manipur, Dekho, Mizoram, Nagaland, all these things, right? But you will notice that whenever there are elections in the state and the center, there's a tendency for Northeastern parties, local parties, to ally with BJP or Congress, whoever is in the center. But after 2014, suddenly most Northeastern states turned saffron. Why? Because the local parties know that if I have to stay in power and if I have to give some whatever thoda sa ye wo develop, actually Northeast is developing more now compared to last 70 years, but jo bhi ho, the Northeast, it has always heavily relied on, jaise you said, ki, on the center for resources and kind of funding and all. And this massive change came mostly after 2014, when most of the local parties allied with BJP or BJP has taken over Tripura, Assam, Manipur, all other states. Matlab BJP has, or you will see massive, like even the local parties suddenly merge with BJP, or they like Conrad Sangma, all these people, they kind of suddenly become allies of the BJP and do all, because they know that we are in such a precarious position. We need to rely on the center for all kinds of help and logistical support. So there is no option but to ally with the center. So in a way, the Northeastern people are actually cleverer than the people of West Bengal, because Northeastern know कि हमको tax के पैसे से we need to fund our roads and whatever development, capitalism जो भी हो, we have to do it. But people of West Bengal don't understand. I guess people of a large part of West Bengal do understand, but a large part does not understand or fears that if we rely on the center, then we have other issues. Okay, they are fed this bullshit that if we rely on the center, then the center will take away our autonomy. Okay, yes, that we know that language politics and all that stuff is given. People's brains are chewed all the time by some kinds of people. So ये तो होता ही रहता है. But it is true that, as you mentioned, that anecdotes. So West Bengal, as an anecdote, I already gave you. So if you think about it, even Bihar, when there was Lalu's regime, Lalu was mostly powerful when Congress was in power. If you think about it, Lalu's regime fell only after the BJP government came in the center during Atalji's regime. I think Nitish Kumar became the chief minister of Bihar right after that. Nitish Kumar became chief minister first time when, can you somebody just jog my memory then, or you can just show me. First time Nitish Kumar became CM. Okay. And I think there was also governor's rule, and then he was properly, like he won the proper election with the help of BJP. And we all know that he was with Sushil Kumar Modi, and then later on, after 2014, he had a fallout with BJP. And then again, he went to Lalu, and then he realized that Lalu is chewing up his party. So he again went back to BJP. So Nitish Kumar has been there, but Nitish Kumar has been like the one of the longest serving chief ministers in the history of India. And he has done it primarily with the help of the BJP at the state and the center.
Yeah,
so without
2015, 2015, he is serving as a chief minister.
No, that you're saying that after BJP, like after Modi ji came to power, but he was CM even before that.
Yeah.
When he displaced Lalu, and he was called Susashan Babu, if you remember, like
Yes, yeah, correct, absolutely correct.
he was called Susashan Babu, and he was, I think, made railway minister by Atalji's government, if I'm not mistaken, later on. Something like that. I am not very well versed in the history of Bihar of that time, but as far as I remember, Nitish Kumar was a great administrator, and he was certainly better than Lalu. But Lalu's main power always came from Congress. But Lalu was in power for so long, kept by the Congress, till TN Session and all these people, kind of started doing the electoral thing. Because Lalu used to capture booths. Booth capturing was Lalu's, Lalu was known for, Lalu's party was known for that. And he had people like Shahabuddin and all these people used to do whatever, all kinds of activities, illegal activities. Yes, 2000. See, it was during NDA rule,
Correct.
right? So NDA center mein tha, then JDU came to power. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a very shaky government. Then there was governor's rule for a few brief months, and then Nitish Kumar became proper CM with the help of BJP properly at that time. Okay, so this is the thing that the BJP has always, the BJP bolo, Congress bolo, they have determined the fate of Bihar also. No matter how proud the Biharis, whatever they say, the fact is that their fate is just like us. Their fate is also linked to Delhi. Okay, and with the exception of 2015 election when Nitish Kumar and Lalu alliance, they won. They had to ally, and BJP, despite being the largest party, single largest party, they lost out. So BJP had again same as West Bengal. So they had the support, but they couldn't they didn't do the needful to kind of or whatever, and there were caste politics and stuff, and so they lost out. So be it Bihar, be it Northeast, be it other small states, there has always been in the East. Like you mentioned, that this is not Gujarat, where center mein Congress hai, to still BJP is winning in this state. This is not like that, and neither is this like Madhya Pradesh, where again same thing. So Shivraj Singh Chauhan has been CM for a very long time. So this is not like that. This West Bengal, Bihar, Northeast, all of our fates is shared. When the center has willed it, then the governments of these places have changed. It's as simple as that. Again, this is also due to the fact that these states were always underdeveloped. West Bengal, after being developed during the British period, became underdeveloped in the 1960s and 70s and all. And we have become poorer ever since. West Bengal is one of the poorest states right now. So, because of the poverty of aspirations, poverty of actual poverty also, West Bengal and all these states are heavily dependent on the central parties for existence. Which is why, again, it begs the question that, the state the intervention by the center, how it will happen, when it will happen, I don't know, you don't know. Perhaps you may know, I don't know for sure. But I can only think that after 2021 and 2024 debacle, the BJP is, let's not always blame the BJP, because it did win Delhi, Maharashtra and Haryana right after 2024. So BJP is certainly trying some things after the 2024 shocker. So in that sense, and again, the Sindoor and all the Operation Sindoor, the diplomatic stuff that they are doing, it's better than before, obviously. Many nationalists and indie-wing people will appreciate the BJP's efforts there. But fact of the matter is, West Bengal is still kind of in a limbo. Like West Bengal ka fate is very much in a limbo, and I can say from my experience in the state, because I interact with lots of different kinds of people, be they lower class people. When I say lower class, I mean people who work for every day, like daily wage laborers, factory workers, lots of people who kind of do small gig economy stuff. Okay, everyone's doubtful. Like many of them do vote for BJP, but they are doubtful whether BJP will come to power, because the doubt is there. Because In 2021, actually, one person had told me that whoever I'm asking is saying I voted for BJP, but then if BJP loses. So that is the main issue, that people here are now frustrated after like almost 5 6 years, 6 years of giving BJP votes, and that too BJP did really well in 2019 elections. So there was an expectation that just like the TMC won in 2011 after 2009. So after 2019, when the BJP got 18 MPs from Bengal, that BJP would definitely win Bengal in 2021. But that hope was dashed to the ground. And then there was post-poll violence, and the BJP's role during that time is a bit problematic, and there was not much attention to the state after that. So it is a very difficult phase for Bengal in that sense, that people are confused. There is Abhaya case, there is Murshidabad, there is the SSC scam. All of this have totally, if you go online, you don't have to listen to me. I mean, do listen to us, but what I'm saying, after that, go to any mainstream media house ka YouTube channel and go to any video of Mamata Banerjee or TMC government, related news, any related news, and just check the comment section. Except some very enlightened individuals who are typically from Bangladesh, you will not find any positive comment regarding Mamata Banerjee and her government. Okay. Now a lot of people will say social media se kya aata hai, but social media is very important. Like social media ke wajah se BJP is getting 40%. And if you see the mainstream content creators in Bengali right now, almost all of them, and they have like 1 million, 2 million subscribers. Okay. 2 million subscribers is a big thing. For a regional channel, is a big thing. So 2 million, almost 2 million subscribers. These people are all against Mamata Banerjee's government. All of them. So there is certainly a palpable anti-incumbency against the present government. That is definitely there. But when you ask people whether they think BJP will come to power, then they are, because of their bitter experience in 2021, because a lot of people had hoped. It wasn't easy. A lot of people I know personally, that a lot of people did not vote many earlier. But after 2019, they were so hopeful that BJP would come to power in the state. Many of them went out to vote. Okay, many people bought tickets home, train, plane tickets, came, voted in 2011, and BJP still lost. So, and then post-poll violence and all that, and that, we all remember that time. It was a horrific time. But the problem is that there is very little sense of security left in West Bengal. And a lot of people are like, what happens to people who are kidnapped for a very long time? They develop Stockholm syndrome. What happens during Stockholm syndrome? Basically, in Stockholm, a lot of people took over a bank, a bunch of robbers, and the women in the bank, they started falling in love with the robbers because they thought that they are actually nice people. So that is what happens. That we've been held hostage in West Bengal for so long that it is difficult for people to kind of, they know that SSC scam, who has done the SSC scam, they know what happened with the Abhaya case, they know what happened with Murshidabad, they know who did Sandesh Khali, they know all this, but they are still having problems to imagine that BJP will come to power in 2026. And many of them are voting. That is evident from the vote shares that 40% almost is voting for BJP also. But they are not getting the positive vibes that you would expect from people. They are not getting the kind of, that, okay, there will be change. That kind of, that assertive, positive attitude, that is missing. Okay, that the center, I don't know what the center will do, but I hope the center takes note of that. If there is to be change.
Correct. Now we'll come back to my, I have 3 points to discuss. Okay, the second point is, I think most people would not know, but uh, since the British time, correct, the East India, specifically East India, was heavily like policed. I would say influence of outside forces in East India
Yes,
was quite a lot, including Northeast, and you'll see the demographic change and everything happened in West Bengal.
yes,
So, and that legacy is something which is can be shared by Tamil Nadu, like southern states, okay, where you had a similar
yes,
kind of influence happening. So, except
yes.
Tamil Nadu and regional Kerala, that state, East India completely was like influenced since British times by outside forces. Okay.
Yes.
And now, do you think that still that like assets created at that time have been for over generations have been the beneficiaries of all the incentives given to them, and that creates and that is a kind of a hindrance for the like national party like BJP to come into power, because the problem, the Achilles heel for BJP is correct, the academia, the perspective, the PR game, okay, and over the messaging game. And they already, and the people who do not want people to come to power, for BJP to come to power in West Bengal specifically, because West Bengal is a gateway state. Okay, West Bengal is a
Yes.
gateway state to Southeast Asia and to Northeast. Okay, and
Absolutely.
in your opinion, that the influence of over 100 years of outside forces creating their own beneficiaries and assets, that creates a kind of a very like a blind spot for a party like BJP to actually break that shackle, that break that wall.
I definitely agree with you on certain points there, that there are the influence of certain foreign ideas, certain foreign people, certain foreign groups in, especially in West Bengal, where the government, actually the problem is not that the foreign influence is there. Foreign influence छोड़ दो, शायद मुंबई में भी है. Okay, let's face it. But the problem is that West Bengal lacks a democratic governance. Matlab, the government, whoever is in the state government, has immense power over the lives of the people. That is not the case in Gujarat, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh. It's not that powerful. The government in West Bengal is so powerful. Every aspect of your lives is controlled by the government. Okay, even what you will eat, what you think, what you feel, everything is controlled by the government. Abhi ye dekho, this is what happens actually. This is what happens when you have a large section of leaders like the people who we call BBK commies, Kolkata BBK and all, and Neerajan is smiling somewhere, I guess. So if we think about it, that the Kolkata Bhadralok people, the intellectual class, that is certainly against, that has been against progress. This is not a new claim by me. I think this is evident from what you're trying to say. You just said it in a better, more gentle way than I am saying. But the Kolkata Bhadraloks are firmly in, they are against progress in the state. The problem that I am trying to highlight here is that even when that is the case, take lessons from somebody like Indira Gandhi. Indira Gandhi did not give a damn about regional politics when this 1970s started. When she saw that Naxal politics ho raha hai, my government might be in trouble. Okay, Barbarika Smriti making a funny point there. Anyway, yes, sorry, I did not mean it that. Neerajan is so absent these days that I don't even know where he is. Anyway, so, chhod do. So you have to take a leaf out of Indira Gandhi's playbook. Indira Gandhi knew that her government might be in trouble. So what she did was she totally, matlab, imagine that uh, the 1972 elections. Just imagine how they control, how Congress controlled from the center. तुमको उससे, you will understand from that, you will get it from that when there is a threat, the central government has done whatever in its power to kind of control the state. Abhi dekho, it has been whatever our misfortune that she also declared emergency, and right after that Janata Party came to power, and the Congress had an understanding with CPM. We all understand. Actually, the CPM was even against Naxalites. The Naxalites hate CPIM more than Congress. Okay, because the CPIM was actually kind of like a party which kind of backstabbed them in many ways. Okay, so wo chhod do. That part is for another day for us to discuss. But fact of the matter is that Indira Gandhi did do it when it was necessary. If people in the center feel that West Bengal is having problems with internal security and all, then I don't know. Perhaps they have some plan. I don't know. I don't want to say it on the channel. Certainly, there is Bangladesh right beside West Bengal. That is a very worrisome issue. Certainly, West Bengal has had a political violence issue, human rights issue, infiltration issue. These are definitely issues. I am not saying these have all been pointed out by central government ministers and state, even sometimes state opposition party members. So they have all pointed these out. Sometimes even the CPM has pointed it out. Okay. CPM can, this is why CPM never dies. The moment I said CPM, Abhay Agarwal is saying CPIM. Okay, that's why CPM never dies. Okay. So that is the problem, that I agree with you that there is a section of people in the state, a large, very, very powerful section, not large section, but powerful section of people who control the thought process of the people. But I'm telling you also that in the age of social media, thanks to capitalism, social media and all that, this has undergone a massive change. Okay. There are channels like Hotat Jokhon Utlo Kotha and all. If you see the recent videos, so matlab, if you see videos from 5 years ago, the same channel, it was promoting no vote to BJP. Okay. It was promoting leftists. Right now, it is highlighting Murshidabad and all with very emotional stories about Murshidabad and all that stuff. Okay. All the anti-TMC stuff it is promoting. High Court to every day High Court points. I am not saying that High Court, every judgment that you read of the High Court will say this same thing. Ye issue hai, wo issue. All the issues that I mentioned have all been mentioned by High Court. Almost every second day it has been mentioned. So all these are issues. Now, yes, we can keep blaming the BBKs and all that stuff and in Kolkata people and all that. But we have to understand that this is not 1970. Now the government does not run Doordarshan. Okay. Social media is the biggest weapon of any group. Any group that wants to come to power or is in power, social media has the highest power in the world right now of changing the minds of people. How else do you think BJP gets 40% votes? Because BJP did not have actually a very, what happened is Dilip Ghosh and all worked organically. Like BJP workers were working organically. But in a large way, social media heavily oriented the people against TMC in 2019. That is also why BJP, kind of did so well in 2019. Okay. I have one, I think you can take the second last comment by Abhay. Okay. Yes, I am telling you one thing. A lot of people say that BJP is not building its organization in West Bengal. This also I have a problem with. Okay. Can you tell me that if today, let's say you come to West Bengal and you raise a BJP flag, what will happen to you in the middle of the street? Like nothing good will happen to you, basically. Okay. So a lot of people say that BJP is not building organization. Organization banayenge kaise? This is not a state like Gujarat and all where anyone can start a rally, you can do whatever, you can speak your mind, jo bhi ho. This is not Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, whatever, these UP and all. Okay. In West Bengal, if you raise the flag of opposition party, you are over. Your life is over. Okay. That is the reality of West Bengal. So वहां पे जाके you cannot have a organizational politics like you can do in Madhya Pradesh or Gujarat and all this stuff. You can't have that. And that's exactly Abhay is coming to the point that is why external intervention is important. Now, I am not saying it has to happen. I am not going to promote that. But I am saying that whenever there has been change, that is the whole point of this podcast, that whenever there has been change,
I'm going
it
to
has
just
happened.
interject. I'm going to interject and show you something which I think we have been talking about a lot. And for the first time, I heard it in the national media. So let me just share it to everyone. I'm just going to pause them because this is interesting. I think a lot of people might want to hear this. Okay, let I make it full. Okay, but it is ANI, so should I play it ANI?
तुम बोल दो भाई. Don't show it.
Okay.
बोल दो.
Correct.
50 लाख का
Okay.
फोन आ जाएगा. छोड़ो.
Yeah, actually no. I can mute the sound, so that would okay. Leave it alone. So Kangana Ranaut has
Just tell us.
said in
Just tell us.
Kangana Ranaut has said in her bites that West Bengal is not West Bengal is South Korea. Sorry, North Korea.
North Korea.
She has mentioned that
बन गया तो अच्छा ही होगा.
yeah. So she said like it's not North Korea, so please release her. So she has mentioned this North Korea word. I don't know where she got it from, but I was surprised. Like she is saying West Bengal is North Korea, and say, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I, to their credit, to Modi ji, Amit Shah's, whoever is running these things, to their credit, certainly people have started speaking up about West Bengal and the problems with West Bengal recently. And dekho, somebody like Vivek Agnihotri, who is now respected as a filmmaker in large parts of the country, he is also making a movie on the history of the communal violence of West Bengal. So we should not totally blame them. They are doing, some people are doing the work. And some people like, BJP MP bolo ki ministers, they are definitely speaking about it. And even local YouTubers are also now forced to speak about it in many ways. That is where we must understand that it's not always the blame of the center, but the game is different here.
Yeah, so last point I'm going to take, and then we're going to take some audience questions. We have few of the questions. So the last point I need to make is that you had mentioned that it was the center's intervention from Sonia Gandhi's led UPA. Okay, so Mamata Banerjee had built her own organization, maybe whatever she had built a ground support, but it required the center's intervention, Sonia's intervention, and she sent like central ministers' help and other things to actually. And we all know that from the Kangana Ranaut's comment that it's a North Korea, that people live there. So election rigging was something which was quite common, especially in the northeastern states. Okay, so center's intervention in creating a narrative for TMC. Okay, central leaders in 2011 coming to West Bengal and forming an alliance with TMC to actually give the catalyst, how to say, the incentive for people to actually, okay, center is coming here, Congress wants to help TMC. So,
yes.
So 2 points. One is the narrative front, which Mamata got a really boost from center, and second was the central leadership and political support she received from Congress, which actually tipped the balance against CPM, because CPM had the administration which would do the bidding for them, and they had the narrative. The Congress, with the help of Congress, TMC was able to get the two fronts which it was losing in 2011.
True. Yes, absolutely.
Hmm.
One factor was certainly that 2011, the Central Election Commission, which conducted the election in the state of West Bengal, they actually did a very fair, good job of having elections. So,
TN
like you said,
session,
till the
TN
TN
session
session
was
was
there.
not there. I
Okay.
don't think he was there, but
Hmm.
Job, whoever was there, I don't know who
Hmm.
was the election commissioner in 2011, but
Hmm.
certainly whoever was there, a lot of people, uh, even other parties like BJP and all, said that this was a fair election. After a very long time, West Bengal had a very fair election. Abhi dekho, the funny thing is that even during the fair election, the difference in vote share between CPIM and TMC Congress was 1% only. The difference between the TMC and Congress, oh, whoever, yeah. But let's face it, that certainly that even if it was Mr. Qureshi, good job as an election commissioner. But we all know that if the central government has some power in there, okay, let's not we don't need to comment on it. But I mean, I think the audience members know that the central government has a role to play in these things. So Jobio, forget that.
Hmm.
My
Hmm.
other point was that if the opposition parties, they actually got the chance to do some propaganda and all that, and the important thing was that no allegation of booth capture and violence and all that stuff was heard. Very few people complained about the election in 2011. Ever since then, every election has had violence. Before that, every election had violence. So 2011, in hindsight, was one of the only elections in the last maybe 20 years or so, 30, 40 years, that we don't see any complaint of violence. Not much, very few, very few murders and this and that, which is very uncommon in West Bengal. So that is also another part that that we have to learn, that 2011 election commission was worked very well, whoever it was, Mr. Qureshi or whoever. So TN session had already shown us in the case of Bihar that a strong administrator can make a huge change in the lives of the people. So that's there.
Yeah. So we'll finish our discussion with one point that you had mentioned, that if the center wants, okay, center was in, Congress was in power, correct, from the 19, when the CPM took hold of power in 1977, Congress was
Yes.
perpetually in power. But
Yes.
what Sonia Gandhi did in 2011, it was not done prior to 20 years, I mean 25 years.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that is the crux of the argument that we are trying to form, is that the, the ground politics, the ground reality of politics in eastern states, specifically West Bengal, is something where your ideological stance may be very good in general, but that cannot stand when you are dealing with a North Korea like regime.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah, so 10 minutes to you. Give us a few suggestions uh, that center should do that might help the central government to do better in the 2026 election.
तुम हमें मरवाओगे बेसिकली. You will. Anyway, chalo. Sarmishta. Anyway, so the point is that anyway, I don't want to make any new suggestions. I have nothing. I'm not a very knowledge. Yes, I have some knowledge in this politics and all, but what I understand is that I think that the demand of some BJP leaders in recent times, like Shubhendu Adhikari and others, these demands are very much logical, I would say. Shubhendu Adhikari has repeatedly asked for 356 in the state. And that I would say I don't see the that as illogical. Okay. And that can never happen. Yeah, I don't think that is I don't oppose it per se. Again, I'm nobody to oppose it or supported. But then I would say that if you look at what Shubhendu Adhikari and others have said, some others have said about how BJP needs to go about in West Bengal, I think that is fairly logical and fairly, he knows the ground reality. That much I can say, that one person who definitely knows the ground reality of West Bengal, two people in the entire state know the ground reality really well. One is in Navarno, one is Mamata Banerjee, one is Shubhendu Adhikari. Okay. Now, Mamata Banerjee is a very good politician. She is not a good administrator at all. She is not a good chief minister in any sense of the term, but she is a great politician. Okay, she reads the ground reality really well. This I can say, but the only person who does it slightly better than her is Shubhendu Adhikari. That also I have to say. So his suggestions for 356 and all, I think they are the only way. I don't see any other way. Like you can do all the propaganda, all the whatever, but at the end of the day, if you have 35% population who is against change for whatever religious reasons and all that, if you have a large section of beneficiary class people who benefit from illegal activities and stuff, then you cannot have meaningful change. Even if 50% of the 60% of the population wants change, that 40% unitedly will destroy that the vote of the other 50%. So that is the problem. And one issue that nobody talks about is Hindus are an aging population. Okay. Peacefuls are the opposite. They are a young population. So if you think about that, that is a huge factor as to why democracy does not always work in that sense. Like even if you have support and all that, a lot of people don't go out to vote. And they are primarily Hindus. And the other community do not have to worry about that. That is a huge factor that nobody mentions. So I see it in Kolkata and many other places that there is a young population is missing now. They're all in Bangalore and Hyderabad and like people like you who are working outside. And there are people who are old and they can't even get out of their bed. So they are alive, they are voters, but they can't even go to the voting booth to vote. So these are these are realistic issues that somehow need to be managed and, figured out. And this is very important because we are missing out if abhi we are a young population, but within a few decades we will also be an aging population, okay, in India. And most of the aged people will be Hindus. That also I can guarantee. If that is the case, we will have to find a way to get older people involved in democracy. If it means that taking the EVM to them somehow, online vote casting through Aadhaar, biometric scan, something, I don't know how it will happen, but it can be done. I believe the technology is there. It can be done. Yeah, जैसे गवर्नमेंट सर्वेंट्स करते हैं ना, like the ballot, वो क्या बोलते हैं, envelope में ballot डाल देते हैं गवर्नमेंट सर्वेंट्स लोग. So even that can be, I don't,
postal ballots,
yeah,
postal
ballots and all that for 75 above or 70 above people. You have to think of these things. Otherwise, there is the demographic dividend of India will come to an end within 20-30 years. Okay. And Bengal mein to already khatam hai. Bengal's demographic dividend is over. So we have to understand that these are going to be problems in the near future that are going to affect. मतलब ऐसा ना हो कि BJP has done all the propaganda, all the not just BJP, like any party that wants to change the country for the better has done the propaganda and everything and worked hard and everything, and simply because they couldn't get old people to the booth, they are losing. Okay, this is a small factor, but it's certainly an important factor. Chalo, questions le lete.
Yeah, let's take questions. So we have the brilliant question from Abhay Agarwal. Okay, he needs the award for this. Do you think it was easier for Bengal to transition from CPM to TMC than it will be BJP, as ideological shift is massive in the latter case? Very good question.
I like this question a lot. Yes, as you understood, the TMC and CPM don't have very different ideologies per se. But what TMC has done is TMC has destroyed the facade of ideology. In TMC's time, there is no ideological politics in the state anymore. It is absolutely based on booth capture and this and that, and muscle power and all that. So it has little to do with ideology anymore. What people like Shubhendu Adhikari and all of them have done is they have made Hindutva a household issue. मतलब earlier it was like a Savarkar ने कुछ बोला है, that guy did that, whatever, Guruji has written this book. Now it's not that. Now it's like your house is in danger. That aspect has actually become more popular. So I will say, thanks to TIA, actually, in a very weird way, by doing appeasement politics, Mamata Banerjee has actually given BJP's ideology a boost in the state, which would have been absent in the CPM's time. Okay. So CPIM se TMC, while the ruler's ideology is the same, the people who are being ruled, their ideology has already shifted more because of TMC. मतलब CPIM के time में there was a fake secularism where CPIM leaders used to pretend to not care about religion and stuff, and did the appeasement politics on the side. But TMC के time में it is so naked and open that the BJP is now, the totally logical part of it is that BJP has to come to power to save people. So that is definitely there.
Yes. So now we'll take, this is also a very important question. This is our member, Barbarika Didi. So she supports us. So thank you, Didi, for this. But this is a very important question. I think the idea that the center can't be good for Bengal, it's a generational trauma from Congress era. How do we overcome this?
This is not just a generational trauma. This is more to do with the propaganda politics that the leftists have done for 3 decades, 4 decades. This has more to do with kind of making North Indian people look like very bad people. Okay, this has little to do with actually what Congress did, because I'll be honest with you, most people in West Bengal don't know that much history. एजुकेशन सिस्टम का वाट लगा दिया है सीपीएम ने, सो पीपल डोंट केयर अबाउट कि कांग्रेस ने क्या किया एंड ऑल. दे हैव डन स्टीरियोटाइपिंग. दे हैव सेड कि यूपी बिहार पीपल आर कास्टिस्ट. ओके, Gujaratis and Marwaris they steal your money. Biharis steal your jobs. So it's very basic. It is very primal and basic. इतना भी मतलब difficult नहीं है. Okay, and they have forgotten Congress era actually. They have forgotten even CPM era, because I'll tell you what, the TMC has been in power for 15 years almost. People forget that the TMC has been in power for so long that a lot of this stuff has kind of gone crazy.
Yeah. So we'll take few more questions.
Maybe two more questions and then
yeah, 2 more questions.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, this is interesting question from Milton Patel Friedman. Can't BJP co-opt the henchmen which are doing a lot of good work in West Bengal and tie up with BJP to make West Bengal a prosperous state?
I'll give you the example of Arjun Singh in Barakpur. But I'll tell you what happened. In front of his house, people started bombing. And see, in North Korea, that is what happened. Police did not care about him. Okay, he kept going to the police and all that. Media, sab kiya, nobody did anything. So Arjun Singh is a very strongman kind of a leader. He even won as MP from BJP, then he lost in 2024. But what happened is TMC did not allow him to kind of do his politics properly. TMC nahi bolunga, allegedly, he could not do politics. So if you think it's that easy ki paisa deke you can buy the gundas, if you tomorrow buy the gundas, it will take 2 seconds for the police to file a case against him and put him in jail. And don't think that the CBI and all that are just putting random people in jail. Sometimes the proof is given by the local police to screw with someone. Anubrata Mandal is not just a victim of CBI's policing. He is also a victim of local police aspects. So it's not that easy. Even if you have a gunda and he turns on your side, the next few days he will be shown the reality and then he will have to make a choice. So it's not so easy.
Yeah. So final question: do you see Suvendu as a rebel?
I don't see him as a rebel. I actually see him as a bit of a rebel, but his major identity I see is he is a fifth generation politician. Okay, his father. He was a minister. He was an administrator, and I think he has a lot of administrative experience as well. So he's not just a rebel. देखो मोदी भी rebel ही था in that sense. Like Modi was also a rebel, but full, like not Kejriwal, like full all the time rebellion कर रहा है ऐसा नहीं है. So in that sense, like he's a rebel, but I think he's a great administrator as well. Achha, I'll just take Ashok Mukherjee's question for 1 second.
Yeah. Actually, I was about to do
In
that.
CPM in Bengal, a gone case. What is the future of Bengal? Is BJP, TMC, or Congress? CPM is not a gone case. CPM is helping the TMC by cutting 4%, 5% of the votes, Hindu votes. No Muslim votes for CPIM. Hindus vote for it, and they are doing this on purpose because they want to kind of offset the BJP. The CPIM is very dedicated in its ideology that it is anti-Hindu. So, that part is CPIM is always going to be there, and CPIM, most importantly, controls a large section of the media and teachers and professors and this kind of academic people. So you can never completely say CPIM is a gone case. अच्छा गिरिधरन गाउंडर का कुछ क्वेश्चन था
Yeah.
and this is the last question, huh?
Yeah. So actually, this
Why-
is something important. You give your comment, then I'll give and we'll finish it.
Yes. Why I give importance to community gathering of Hindus is because that is the only way Hindus would come to know about false propaganda. Yes, and a bit of no, but I will tell you what it needs. देखो, community gathering is important. I agree. But you need leaders. You can't expect कि मतलब, random people will go and, we will all assemble. You need some kind of, very credible people. Let's say an Anand Ranganathan, J. Deepak, this kind of intellectual, somebody who is well versed in the ideas and who can speak in English. These are important. These are not necessary, but these are very important. Today, I was just telling someone that today a rickshawala probably knows more Hindutva than I do. Okay, but who will listen? If I talk in English and he talks in local language, nobody will listen to him. That is the reality. This is a harsh reality. So building your own elites is very important to take the next step. उसके बाद community gather हो ही जाता है. I have seen J. Deepak's fans going crazy in Calcutta. I have seen it. So ऐसा नहीं है कि मतलब there are no people. You need the leaders. You need proper good leaders. And when I say leader, don't mean MP, MLA. I mean thought leaders. People who are educated, who can kind of give good ideas and talk to people and stuff. Those kind of like Shashi Tharoor. You need 100 Shashi Tharoors, but who are Hindutva, like who are dedicated to the cause of Hindutva. ऐसा चाहिए basically. So yeah.
Yes. So thank you very much. So I'll take 1 minute and then finish it. So I was like putting in my community post today the importance of social capital, okay, which is
Yes.
like a bedrock of any civilization, not about community nations. If you as a civilization, if you want to become who you are, you were what you were because of social capital. And social capital is a very complex topic that we will take up sometime later. How this is formed, it's an academic thing, but at the ground level, people who are listening to this, okay, what you can do at the individual level is that first of all, empower yourself, okay, empower yourself and empower people who are around you, okay. and that's the best you can do right now. Okay. And from that, new leadership will emerge. Okay. So two things you can
Yes.
do right now, just two things. First, empower yourself, and then empower somebody else who needs help. Okay. If you can just
Absolutely.
do these two things, okay, at the individual level, you will see a lot of things are happening which are like a domino effect of your individual efforts,
Yes.
and that becomes a
Absolutely.
community effort. So that you can
I
do.
absolutely
Okay.
agree with you.
Yeah. So thank you, academic man, for coming. Thank you for your sharing your knowledge and experience with us. Okay. And Sharmista. Okay. Sharmista, see, go to YouTube and just do a search how to surf the web, or how to surf go to internet in a safe manner. You will get all kinds of advice that is there for last 10 years. You don't have to do anything. Don't listen to me. Go on Google
Yes.
and ask how to use internet in a responsible manner, on use social media in a responsible way. There are million articles, million videos available. Just watch them and keep yourself
Anand
safe.
Ranganathan also says stuff, but he never goes to jail. So think about it.
Exactly. Yeah. So thank you. Jai Shri Ram, Vande Mataram.
Jai Shri Ram, Vande Mataram.